the first and only ever RPGFan Retro Encounter Awards! Hello, my name is Mike Sollosi. This is Retro Encounter episode 200, and when we were, trying to come up with a theme for the episode, we ended up, coming up with a lot of sort of category ideas for things like yearbook accolades or our favorites from a list of favorite lists of characters, favorite kinds of games, and we ended up with a big weird collection of categories to analyze, and we ended up deciding to shape them into an awards show. So that's where we are right now. But let's introduce the other panelists for this awards show, starting with Peter Triezenberg.
Hi, everybody. Peter Triezenberg. I'm for one of the news editors on the site, and they keep shooting down my idea to do a Fuck, Marry, Kill on RPGFan.
Whoa!
Indeed, we do.
Bleep there.
I understand, but I just thought I'd mention it.
And, okay, now we're down to 4 panelists total. Goodbye, Peter.
Okay, see you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
We know who's the kill in that scenario, I guess.
Yeah. All right, and now for everyone's choice to marry in that scenario, Alana Hagues.
Whoa! I don't marry people. Good grief. Hey, everybody.
The one who ironically would not accept either.
We can go on a nice romantic date and a dinner together, but lots of
I
cuddles.
would accept the dinner part.
Yeah.
All right, and Alana's dinner date, Steph Sybydlo.
What did you say about me?
Alana's dinner date.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, ooh, okay. Hi, what's up?
And rounding out our party of 5, Zach Wilkerson.
Hey there.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
Show so much. Oh my god. Which is ironic because I like Zach so much. So,
We'll go to dinner together, all 5 of us.
Party of 5, indeed.
All right, well, this party of 5 was also the panelists that chose winners out of this goofy list of categories that we brainstormed weeks ago. And I did ask for some listener input for these categories, but I didn't get a large response. So all of these categories are from the 5 of us. And they get a little weird.
They start a little weird.
Yeah, they start a little weird, and it's just a little weird from the get-go. So, Peter, go ahead and read out our first category.
All right, our first category is the feature most likely to be cut from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Our options are Fort Condor, the submarine minigame,
Fort Condor basically throw money the minigame.
the weapon fights, the slap fight on top of the Junon cannon.
It better not.
It will not. A Japanese developer will never, ever cut that.
And Red 13 in disguise on the Junon ship.
In fact, they'll probably add another one to it where you get to slap someone else out.
And
Can we slap Heidegger?
Love that.
And the winner is Fort Condor.
Yeah. I wouldn't
really
miss
have no
it
idea how
either.
No,
I have
gosh,
no
it's
idea
so
how to
terrible.
I think that
It's
Red
an even
13
lower poly game.
Yeah, I think that Red 13 would probably get cut as well for different reasons, but sorry, there's a cat fight going on outside, everybody. But Fort Condor is like the one thing on that list that I wouldn't miss.
Oh, is it
at
Tifa and Scarlet?
all. Well done. Yeah. Jeez.
Fort Condor already felt out of place in Final Fantasy VII, and putting in a awkward RTS game that I don't think is that popular doesn't make a lot of sense.
I know Square said that they're committed to preserving the FF7 experience and they don't want to cut things, but I can't imagine how they're going to make that work on a reasonable time. I mean, okay,
I can't imagine anyone being upset about it either.
Yeah,
I mean,
make it.
I know there's going to be that one guy.
Oh, there's always going to be that one guy.
I hope they just keep the song. That's the only thing I liked about that segment.
Maybe they'll make it up. Maybe they'll make it an optional tower defense game that plays in the background.
I think they should just make it a fight.
No, it's a pre-release cell phone game you can get.
Download the Fort Condor app.
Well, I mean, they could turn it into a strategy section, I think. That would be the only way they'd do it, but it would be a complete revamp. So, yeah, I think as it is now, it's going to get cut, and I don't think too many people would miss it compared to everything else. Like, But yeah.
The game had a lot of mini games, but yeah, just like the assets obviously weren't all poured into it, and it just kind of came out haphazard for most of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I hope the dolphin jumping gets cut too.
Oh no.
That was awkward. And then you're given like mouth to mouth, and then you're helping out a dolphin. Like that whole section was just weird. And then you go to crash a parade.
This whole generation of people who will find out that Final Fantasy VII is in fact unusual and weird, and not as like seminal as everyone makes it out to be.
They won't have to explain what a PHS either. It's like, oh, it's a cell phone. Boom.
Correct.
Okay, and on to the next category. And I should mention the qualifications for being included on this list is it has to be a character or a game that is either an RPG video game or of and part of Devil May Cry 5.
Correct.
Yeah, that is our official qualifications. So the next category is most handsomest hero. Alana, can you read that out for us?
Yeah, so we have the main cast of Final Fantasy 15. We do have the entire cast of Devil May Cry 5, and this is where we came up with the idea they should be included. Mm-hmm. We have Locke from Final Fantasy 6, Alistair from Dragon Age Origins.
I think Locke was my first like gaming crush when I was a little girl. There's something about thieves in games, man. I don't know what it is.
He's a cheeky guy as well. He likes to be like, I'm not a thief, I'm a treasure hunter. I'm just like, oh yeah, you can you carry on.
He stole my heart.
So we got Balthier from Final Fantasy 12.
Shoot me, Daddy.
Yes, please. Imeric from Final Fantasy 14. Leo from Luna 2 Eternal Blue. And then we have lots of Pokemon guys. So we have Steven, the champion of Hoenn from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Oh no, he's not the champion in Emerald, excuse me. But he's still better than everybody else. Professor Sycamore from X and Y, Professor Kukui from Sun and Moon, and basically most people from Suikoden 3.
Huh. Okay. So there's probably at least 50 in that last one, but
yeah, I mean, well, no surprises to anybody, but this is a really hard category, and we kind of just was like, oh, you know what, everyone has a type. So this is like everyone's a winner. There's someone for everybody in the world, even in video games.
The winner is
like
everyone.
the best and fight about
Sometimes
it, you know? Everybody can get their own.
Yeah,
Leo, if you're a furry, you got Leo.
Exactly.
If you like handsome, dark-skinned men, then Professor Kukui is gorgeous.
Kukui is really pretty.
He's a sweetheart as well. In the anime, he proposes to his girlfriend really cutely. It's so adorable. He has a ring and a Pokeball.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I feel like I've seen couples take that on, actually. Yeah.
The Sun and Moon anime is very wholesome.
It is, yeah.
Everyone's a winner.
So that means
we could not decide.
Officially, RPG fan style, Devil May Cry 5 is indeed part of the most handsomest category.
Cool, we covered Devil May Cry 5 now.
Yeah.
Says you, Peter. Says you. Now, the next category is probably an understandable follow-up to this one. Steph, can you read out the nominees for Most Loveliest Lady?
There are many most lovely ladies. Follow us along, see if you agree. So we got Jessica from Dragon Quest 8, definitely popular. Deborah from Dragon Quest 5, I actually really like her.
Correct answer.
Tifa from the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Better than the original.
Polygons. I'm willing to go with that. I actually like her voice actress a lot too. Tubi from Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
Left cheek, right cheek, all of it's good. I'm sorry.
Self-destruct.
Ayabria from Parasite
I would dance cheek to cheek with Tubi. Yes.
Are you doing like a square dance then?
Oh my god.
Bow to your partner. Bow to your corner.
Aqua from Kingdom Hearts. I do like the omission of Kyrie there, who just got fridged the entire series, basically. Lynn from Fire Emblem. Olivia from Pokemon Sun and Moon. Leneth from Valkyrie Profile. And DMC5 somehow snuck its way in again with Trish and Lady, I guess.
Yeah,
and Nico.
Everybody just talked at once.
and Nico. Don't forget Nico.
Oh, yes, and Nico, sorry. Oh, yes, Nico. Oh, my God, I love her.
Nico single-handedly saved the video game industry.
She did.
So
I think, again, like, we had a lot of infighting. We didn't know who to pick, so we actually just settled on all of them again.
Yes, correct. All of them win.
Yeah, I'm into that. These are all really good girls.
Our RPG thirst springs eternal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why fight? Everybody gets somebody.
Indeed. And yeah, like picking the winner for the hero and lady categories started out pretty argumentative, and then we all sort of just fell into the solution of everyone's a winner, and that is our official word on the handsomest heroes and loveliest ladies of this podcast.
Do you know?
Sorry if that's a cop out.
As long as there's one lovely lady and one like handsome hero, I'm usually pretty happy. If there's one of each, then I'm pretty good.
Unless you're playing Final Fantasy XIV, in which there's like 3 each per expansion.
Excellent, even better. Dish them out.
So our next category is Best Anime Betrayal.
Can we specifically define what an anime betrayal entails?
Sure.
I'm still a bit muddy on that.
Okay. So why do we say anime betrayal and not just betrayal or something similar? I'm not really sure, but like...
There's just a quality to it, right?
It's a meme, is it not? That's what I thought.
Yeah, there's a meme of top 10 anime betrayals, both sort of making fun of anime communities on YouTube, and also there's a music to the phrase anime betrayal, and a sense of drama and over the top silliness to the concept of an anime betrayal.
There's usually quite a lot of nobility to it, someone has to be very resolute.
Yeah, there's I don't know.
There's a big fight about your convictions and your ideals, and there's tears and blood and sweat and a final fight with 2 swords drawn. Everything.
Yeah, an anime betrayal has a different quality than just a regular old betrayal. So the category.
A lot of shouting. Why?
Yes. So Zach, let's read out the nominees for best anime betrayal.
So our first nominee is Kain from Final Fantasy IV, and then we have Leon from Tales of Destiny. And pretty much all the antagonists in Persona 3, 4, and 5. The next nominee is Noctis pushing Prompto off a train in Final Fantasy 15.
Spoiler alert.
Peter, why did we let Peter on this podcast? For real?
I honestly don't know why you keep me around either, but I'm just happy to be here.
I feel like this is like the 8th podcast we've said that about poor Peter.
I just want to make people laugh.
And then our final nominee, is Joey from Suikoden 2. And the winner, we have a tie here actually, between Kain from Final Fantasy IV and Leon of Tales of Destiny.
Who was it who said the Kain thing where it like gets really complicated come the
so when they made the After Years, which is the sequel to 4 and the worst Final Fantasy game ever made, but Kain's dark half becomes a separate character. It's like literally the embodiment of betrayal.
Yeah. Kain goes to Mount Ordeals to try and cast aside his darkness the same way Cecil did, but it doesn't work, and Kain's dark half overpowers him, and and goes on to betray more people in After Years.
It's literally the only cool part of that game.
Yeah, and also Kain betrays people in Dissidia and betrays people 3 times in just the regular Final Fantasy IV. He's betraying people all over the place, and Leon betrays only once in Tales of Destiny. He has a really dramatic betrayal scene. I think he won like every Tales character poll for a decade or something. And then they brought him back so that he could betray the protagonist of Tales of Destiny again, but instead he betrays the evil lady that revived him and saves his son. It's crazy.
He even named him Judas when he comes back.
Yes, and his name
went biblical with it.
Yeah, he literally puts on a skull mask and calls himself Judas for the second round of betrayals.
I think equally, like, Leon kickstarts an entire series full of betrayals. Like, Fantasia doesn't have a massive one. Yeah. It's kind of got one at the beginning-ish. But, like, yeah, Tales of Destiny is where enemy betrayal kind of becomes a thing. And I think Kain is pretty iconic because of how he does it, and like he's best friends. Him and Cecil have got a history together before the game, and I think that's why you feel it so much. But Leon's is like an entire trend in like Japanese RPGs.
The way I see it,
I gotta go find some like fan fiction between Kain and Rosa. I just want to see how this would have turned out.
Yeah, there's some.
What if he became good, and she kept him on the right track? Would it be worth it?
Sure, there's a lot of it.
The way I see it, Kain puts the betrayal in anime betrayal, and Leon puts the anime in anime betrayal. So
correct.
So that's why we have 2 winners here. But
but
going forward, I promise there's going to be less of this multiple winners BS, and we're gonna buckle down and pick only one winner going forward.
Yeah, Mike whipped us into shape after this one.
I haven't yet still. But the next category is Best Wild Plot Twist. So Peter, go ahead and read out these nominees.
All right, so for the Best Wild Plot Twist, we have a number of selections. We have
Lots of
Cloud.
spoilers too.
Lots of
Yeah.
spoilers. I've been warned.
Skip ahead like 5 minutes if you don't want any of this.
Cloud thinks he's Zack from Final Fantasy VII. The whole world of ruin thing from Final Fantasy VI. You are Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars.
That's such a
That's
good
an
one.
excellent one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Yeah.
Really is.
Aerith dies from Final Fantasy VII. The demons ran the church all along from Grandia 2 and most other JRPGs. Let's be
Breath
real.
of Fire 2, Dragon Quest 7.
Breath of Fire 2. Yep.
Every Tales game ever.
Oh, I love Tales of Symphonia, taking it to like a space station and everything. That's just
Right,
so weird.
Darius Colon is awesome.
What is happening here?
Chrono dies in Chrono Trigger.
That's my least favorite one.
Star Ocean 3's whole "the world is actually a video game" thing. The entirety of Xenogears.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
The whole of the end of Disc 1.
Yeah.
Dart and Rose from The Legend of Dragoon, their whole thing. The Dead Sea from Chrono Cross. The entirety of Danganronpa. And Your Mom is a Tree in Secret of Mana.
Who made love to what and gave birth to which on that?
Well, the
Or was
Randy's
it
mom.
magic?
It was magic, but Randy's mom is a member of the Mana Tribe, and when the members of the Mana Tribe die, they become part of the Mana Tree.
Okay.
Point is that one did not win. We tried to wrap our heads around that, and again, we just had more questions than answers.
So the real winner is all of Danganronpa.
For definite.
Yeah. That game is almost defined by its twists. Like the identity of the mastermind in the first game, the whole simulation thing in the second game, and the whole bait and switch and double bait and switch and television bait and switch in the third game.
Oh my god.
Holy
yeah.
crap.
Yeah. I still always remember leading up to that episode for Retro, the mobile
I've heard some
phone.
kind of divisive things about the third game. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I hated the first twist and loved the last twist.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. It took me a while to get over the second twist, but I think the second twist makes sense in context for the
Yes.
series.
I think the second twist is okay. All of the twists in Danganronpa get pretty wild. Even the smaller moment-to-moment ones, like the identities of certain murders in certain cases.
Oh yeah,
But
those
really-
get nuts.
But it's the like the mastermind, the simulation, and then like a full 60% of Danganronpa 3 is just the whole game. The whole series is made of wild twists.
Yeah.
That said, though, like I didn't know anything about Dart and Rose, and when you guys explained it, I actually thought it was pretty sweet. So.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
think
cool.
it's a really good
cool.
one,
It
yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
It's not really Dart and Rose. It's
the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
history,
it's the whole background of them, and Legend of Dragoon is a cool game that I never ever want to play again because playing it is miserable. I've tried to replay it on multiple times and I just can't. But yeah, that is the best wild plot twist for the Retro Encounter Awards. Now the next category is best version of Cerberus. I
like when it comes to fantasy games, you start running into a lot of mythical creatures.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, we had a mythology episode a few weeks ago.
Indeed, we did.
Yeah.
And Cerberus, the three-headed dog from Greek myth and guardian of Hades, shows up in RPGs a lot. So,
I don't think we can talk about the Kingdom Hearts 2 one without Disney slapping us with a lawsuit. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
But Alana, go ahead and read the nominees for best version of Cerberus.
All right, so we have Koromaru's Persona from Persona 3, Cerberus. We have Vincent's gun from, I think it's exclusively Dirge of Cerberus, but someone will correct me if I'm wrong.
It's in the movie too. It's in Advent.
It's in the movie.
Okay,
it's in
okay.
Advent Children as well, but it's a 3-barrel pistol gun. It's pretty cool. We have our grand return of, well, actually 2 games in this series have a Cerberus. We have Devil May Cry 5, which has King Cerberus, and Devil May Cry 3 has Cerberus, and they are some hard boss fights, kids. We have the Guardian Force Cerberus from Final Fantasy VIII. And we also have Hercules' Cerberus in Kingdom Hearts 2. How did he get on here? Like, Cerberus is cool, but not in Kingdom Hearts. Like, but yeah.
I'll
Anyway,
give you
Cerberus is
one
kinda
guess
fun.
which one of us added him.
No, I know. It's okay.
Okay. In 2,
No,
you
I'm not-
fight him with Orin from 10, and it's fun.
That boss fight is really fun, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But the true winner is Vincent's gun because, wow, what a nice, sharp, detailed gun that is.
It's a really cool gun.
Yeah.
They
really is.
like giving proper homages to weapons too, if they're cool enough.
Yeah, exactly. If they go the full
I've
hand.
actually got a Play Arts Kai version of Vincent. I'm looking at on myself now, so I approve of this choice.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Yeah,
all right,
Vincent does not get any lot. Like, he's a really important character in Final Fantasy VII, but like one of the worst characters battle-wise.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think he gets some love
Yeah.
outside of the general main game. I really hope the remake gives him some justice.
It's weird, yeah. For a game where stats weren't too important to how
His are just lower than everyone else's, besides
Yeah.
magic. Decent
Yeah.
magic
Yeah,
stats.
exactly. He is like the third or fourth most important character story-wise, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's worse than Kate Sith gameplay wise.
He is.
also-
I'm pretty sure statistically he may be the worst.
It sucks that his spin-off game is also pretty weak. He is really funny in Machina Bridge, the parody series, because he keeps getting bugs on people because he's been in the coffin for however long. So he's like, my friends like you.
Vincent is definitely my very first video game crush, or one of them, which is a terrible thing to admit. But Turk Vincent, oh my god,
We all went through a Vincent Valentine phase.
Absolutely.
We
I'm
did.
still there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, me too.
22 years later, I'm still here.
All right, so Vincent's gun is the best version of Cerberus for the Retro Encounter Awards. The next
I
category...
like a gun winning this, actually, instead of a beast.
Right on. And
Yeah, the gun wins. I think it's cool.
cool.
Oh.
And the next category is Best Flirt. So, Steph, could you read out the nominees for us?
Yes, best flirt. So we have Zelos from Tales of Symphonia. We have Olivier from the Trail series. We have Angelo from Dragon Quest VIII. You're gonna have to help me pronouncing that.
Orchefant.
Horsefant. Horsefant from Final Fantasy XIV, and Ringabel from Bravely Default.
God, he sucks.
I think this one was a pretty clear-cut winner. Zealous from Tales of Symphonia is literally the only flirt that actually nets you a reward from it. So.
Right. It's one of my favorite things about that game, Zealous and his honeys, and I'm really like, I've grown to kind of like not like flirt characters too much, but I think Zealous is pretty tolerable, and also you get money and just people throw gels at you and steak. It's great.
Yeah, and
I also
I mean,
respect the man's wardrobe. He pulls off that peach pink very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad flirts in video games. Like, it can be a pretty cringy, like eye-rolly kind of character type. But these 5, or at least 4 of them plus Ringabel, are actually likable flirts.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, Zealous is definitely the best in the whole Tales series, and
Yeah.
probably the best in any RPG I've had so far. He has a really good story as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to pick this. Like, it was a consensus that Zealous won, but between him, Olivier, Angelo, Orchefant, those are 4 flirts that I love dearly. I couldn't have picked it on my own.
It's a good list.
Would flirt back, in other words.
I'd definitely flirt back with Olivier. Oh my goodness.
All right, so moving on. The next category is Most Baddest Final Boss. So, Zach, can you read out the nominees?
I can. So our first nominee is Braska's Final Aeon from Final Fantasy X. The next nominee is Lucifer from Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Next nominee is Gygus from Earthbound. After that, we have Izanami from Persona 4. And then Devil May Cry 5 makes a return with Virgil from.
Oh, who stuck that in? That's so good.
And
I don't know,
Alana. I wonder. There are a lot of candidates actually for who might have stuck that in. Let's see here.
Zach, do you want me to help you with that one?
I am gonna need some help with this
Okay.
next one.
Okay. The next nominee is a tag team of Adolf Hitler, Nyarla Hotep from the Cthulhu mythos,
Hotep.
and the literal embodiment of daddy issues from Persona 2 Innocent Sin.
I think we have that as a safe runner-up just because of why.
Persona 2 is a wild ride, y'all.
That one doesn't win, but I wanted to put it in just because the final boss is in Persona 2. Oh man, that goes somewhere. It really does. So what else do we have left, Zach?
We have your rival from Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and then and this is also our winner. Each Undertale route, you've got Sans, and we have Flowey, and then I can't remember the name of the pacifist route one. Who is that?
Asriel Dreamer.
Asriel Dreamer. For me, I think that's an excellent choice. I mean, like they're all really thematically rich based on sort of how you've played the game. I think if you do a genocide run, there's a different one too, isn't there? Isn't there a fourth?
No.
One.
It's Sans, isn't it?
Yep. The
for a genocide run.
Yes, Sans is the final boss for a genocide run. A neutral run is Flowey, and a pacifist run is Azrael Dreamer.
Okay. Yeah, but the two that I've played are both excellent. Really, really interesting mechanically, really hard, really challenging. Great.
Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, and like they use a lot of great. All three of them have great music too. So like
exactly, yeah. Don't ask me to pick a favorite between those three final boss themes because it's really hard.
Yeah, so Undertale's got to win it.
I mean, my favorite final boss theme is the Sans Megalovania theme, but they're all really, really good and huge, dramatic, challenging boss fights. It's like Undertale's a very special game, and the circumstances of the final boss and like what is experience points, what is a boss, it's sort of the fact that it's weird and subversive enough to even ask those questions makes it a pretty cool, unique thing. And yeah, we decided it has the most baddest selection of final bosses. But it is kind of weird when the five parents of the five main characters in Persona 2 all turn into a weird monster. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I do need to play this now.
Alana, could you please read us the next category?
So this is Worst Ensemble Cast in the History of Anything. And our nominees are Star Ocean 4, and the winner is Star Ocean 4.
K.
Yeah, I have not played Star Ocean 4, and just looking at the characters that you've linked me images of, and from your descriptions, I don't think I ever want to play Star Ocean 4.
They're so bad. It's not even funny.
They're so
Star Ocean 4 is a pretty fun game, but man, do you have to have a high threshold for anime bullshit.
Absolutely. Yeah. They are the bare bones of tropes. Not well done. They're just uninteresting. Your
best friend likes you and she throws a hissy fit if you so much as look at anybody else. There's a cat girl who likes to nap on you. There's a little girl who likes to nap with you. Like
all the adult ladies have big chests.
There is a widow who also is very flirtatious and grating at the same time.
They're really aiming directly at fans that will buy statues of anime girls for this one.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have that many. They didn't even have any statues.
It's the cast of Star Ocean 4 basically consists of a super buff version of Data. Your childhood best friend who is in love with you, the lolicon who is in love with you, and also the elf boy.
Elf boy's the only good.
An angel girl who is in love with you, a cat girl who is in love with you, a MILF who is in love with you, and the edgy sad boy who replaces the elf boy.
The edgy sad boy's name is literally an anagram of trauma. Aramat Thanatos. It is trauma death.
Aramat is such a lame character. He's like arguably the only cool one, but like he's literally an edgelord. He uses like a laser Sith and has like busted ass armor and scars and white hair, and he basically just every cutscene he talks about to be noble and he wanted to die a hero's death and to
I feel like they were trying to go for another Owlbell character who wasn't like grumpy and like called you maggots every 5 minutes, and he definitely lost something along the way. It was fun to play as. Everybody's fun to play as in that game.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to talk about Star Ocean 4. It's like the great gameplay with the worst cutscenes.
Soundtrack is also pretty tight. If you haven't seen it already, you need to track down the interview where Matt Mercer talks about playing.
Oh my god, yes.
It's so funny.
I feel so bad for him because Matt Mercer's come so far now, and I used to rag on that voice so much, but now we've already mentioned
about it too. It's so cute. Yeah,
of course. I think he must have only been about 19 or 20 when he did it, because he's in his early 30s now, and he's doing really late 30s maybe. He's doing really well. Like Critical Role, he's in the Trail series. He's been in Tales. He's been in everything.
He was a replacement. He was a replacement character he was a replacement Persona 4 character, and then he got his own Persona 5 character.
Yeah, he was the Troy Baker replacement man, because he had replaced. He's Olivier in Trails of Cold Steel, and I believe Troy Baker does him in the PSP version of Trails in the Sky. So yeah, he's done the triple.
Oh, man.
But yeah.
This is the most Star Ocean 4 discussion we will ever have on this podcast. So let's put it behind us. The next category, Steph, let's have you read out the nominees for us.
Ooh, okay. So our next one was Best Zelda Side Quest. We just started talking a lot about them, and man, there's so much to choose from. So Best Side Quests were Eventide Island from Breath of the Wild, Anduin Cafe from, of course, Majora's Mask, the Big Goron Sword side quest from Ocarina of Time, Terrytown from Breath of the Wild as well. The ghost in the like
in the toilet.
Wings. Yeah, the ghost in the toilet situation from Skyward Sword, Grog in the Lost Woods, and the alien invasion in Majora's Mask. These were all pretty big side quests too. Like these were not brief, and they all usually had like multiple pieces to it or like some cool gimmick to it. Eventually, of course. I don't know. It's a bit predictable, but the Andrew Cafe one won for us again, just because it's so involved.
It's so well done.
It's really excellent. It's a.
I love that it makes you wait till the last minute too. I don't think any other part of the game really has you do that besides at the beginning.
Yeah, it takes I think the entire 3-day phase basically to execute it. So you have to devote an entire run to Anduin Cafe. But it's really beautifully done. It's I guess you can beat the game without doing it. You won't get the mask from it. You won't get the real final boss or whatever.
It's one of those things where there's just a ton of rewards tied to it too.
Yeah, it's really excellent. It makes me want to actually get off my ass and finish Majora's Mask.
So many games.
It's my favorite thing about that game.
Terrytown is probably the most pleasant thing on the planet, though, and
Terrytown's sweet. I really
anything
like
that. Anything about city building and expanding cities. Yeah, I'm all there.
Eventide was also a fun challenge to rise up to.
The aliens in Majora's Mask is probably the weirdest one as far as all those goes, though. I did just want to give a special shout out to that one because it's just creepy as hell. Anyone who's played it knows what I'm talking about.
All right, so now following off Best Zelda side quest, we have Worst Final Fantasy side quest. Peter, can you read out the nominees for this one for us?
Absolutely. So for the worst Final Fantasy side quest, we have Chocobo Racing in Final Fantasy X specifically. Blitzball, which is good. You all are just mean.
Agreed.
No, it is good. It is good.
Yeah.
Steph is the only one who's the outsider here.
Whatever.
Spoiler alert: Blitzball doesn't win.
Justice Monsters 5 from Final Fantasy 15. The lightning bolt part from Final Fantasy X.
Oh, God.
Chocobo breeding in Final Fantasy 7. The platforming dungeon from Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, there's flashbacks there.
And Sphere Break from Final Fantasy X-2. Which, does anyone actually know how Sphere Break works? I don't think the game knows how Sphere Break works.
Does anybody know how Final Fantasy X-2 works?
Not worth it.
You have to know the multiples of stuff, I think, and create math equations essentially.
So,
and that's why I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I think you get a
Final
drift
Fantasy
sphere.
Tactics. I don't understand.
You do get a dress sphere. You get the casino.
So I just get that and then I stop.
Yeah, it's missable. It's hard to get, and it's confined to just that one moment. But yeah, Chocobo Racing was.
Yeah, Chocobo Racing from Final Fantasy X was the winner here because I don't know anybody who likes that mini game, especially if you're trying to go for.
It's based on like a random number generator too, so like a lot of the time you'll just have a bad run, not because of lack of skill, even though that's very important because you have to, but it's just annoying. And to get
I've played that game 3 times and I have never managed to do it.
Yeah, I've done it twice, but I never did Chocobo Racing. I never could solve it. I just got angry the first couple times and then quit.
I've done it twice, I just started, and like every time I end up cursing at my TV at least, you know.
Yeah, it's the only time I get angry at that game ever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lightning bolts makes me pretty angry.
Mostly having bad,
so does butterfly catching.
I hated that.
I don't love the butterflies or the lightning bolts, but Chocobo Racing's the worst. And
sure.
And I legit truly enjoy the Monster Arena and Blitzball.
Yeah, they're actually really great. Like the best side quests in Final Fantasy.
So, moving on to the next category, Most Improved Sequel. Zach, let's have you read out these nominees for us.
All right, so our first nominee is Suikoden 1 to Suikoden 2, which is nice because Suikoden 1's great, and Suikoden 2 is the best RPG of all time.
I'm editing that
out. Mother to Earthbound, Dragon Quest 2 to Dragon Quest 3, Elder Scrolls Daggerfall to Morrowind, and then we've got 3 here, Persona 1 to 2, and then Persona 2 to 3. Xenosaga 2 to 3, and then Tales of Zestiria to Tales of Berseria. And the winner is Mother to Earthbound.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's I think that's the worst starting point to one of the best ending points among these selections. So
God,
yeah,
I remember when they dropped like Mother over here in North America, and
Yeah.
Oh
like, it's kind of
yeah,
like, oh,
Earthbound.
this is it.
yeah,
Earthbound
Yeah.
from Beginnings. Yeah.
Yep, and
Ooh.
everyone realized that people were just excited about this because it hadn't released, not because it's good, because it's not good.
Yeah. I bought it
Why
to
didn't we get
review
Mother
it for the
3?
site.
Did you beat it?
I did.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so hard.
you can save state though.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
I mean, we talked about this on the worst of episode, but apparently there's like an easy patch out there, and I've never tried it, but I think that might be worth it because I think there are actually some interesting things happening in Mother. But there are so many horrible things happening. It's not just that you can get one-shotted like half the game, or that like traveling is unintuitive and very difficult and none of the tools open up till the end of the game. It's like the good writing is still there, but the rest of it's so horrific that
I
it's
like
not
the
worth it.
I like the non-linearity of it as well.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just not coded properly at all anywhere. It's pretty dreadful.
Swing and a miss, in other words.
Yeah, but at least Earthbound and Mother 3 are both great. So it's
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe it was a necessary bad first step for those two great games that came down the line.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, so our next category is Best Transport. Peter, let's have you read these out for us.
All right. The categories for Best Transport are the Regalia from Final Fantasy 15, the trifecta of Cannon Travel, Booskaboo, and Flammy from Trials of Mana, the Master Cycle from Breath of the Wild, your father somehow making an entire town fly from Breath of Fire 2. Also could probably file Dragon Quest on here somewhere.
2 games.
The Flying Magical Whale plus boat in Tales of Vesperia. His name is Baul.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that like the dude from Sinister? Baul?
Baul is right, yeah.
Baul! And Pirate Ships in the Sky from Skies of Arcadia. And the winner is Trials of Mana, the Cannon Travel, Booskaboo, and and the Flammy. What is a Booskaboo?
The correct name for the giant, beautiful turtle who transports you around.
Yeah, it's an excellent sea turtle boy, a beautiful white dragon girl, and also being shot out of a cannon. That's how that's how you get around in Trials of Mana, and this is possibly influenced by recency bias, but it's great.
Booskaboo is adorable. Makes a cute horn noise. He's just the best. He was my profile picture on Slack for a few weeks.
And he waves at you every time you see him. It's so adorable.
He's so cute.
Did you say they renamed Booskaboo though?
Yeah, they renamed him.
Vuskav.
Yeah, Vuskav, which is
wrong.
It is wrong, but it's probably right because of the.
Like Japanese B, F, and V can sometimes be shifted around a little bit. So Vuskav is a legit translation, but it's not as fun to say as Booskaboo.
No. Yeah. Yeah, Booskaboo or bust, basically.
And Flammy is just so cute and so beautifully animated.
Yeah, I mean, I love my pirate ships in the sky, but you give me animals, then I'm all over it.
And Booskaboo makes the noise when you call him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
He's so cute.
So the next category, let's have Alana. Let's have you read out the best time travel bullshit.
Yeah, so we got the nonary games, all 3 of them. Dragon Quest XI, which has a lot of spoilers, and you should listen to the spoiler cast episode if you want to hear about them.
Agreed.
Radiant Historia, which is probably one of the best examples of time travel in RPGs for a long time.
The mechanics there are excellent,
yeah.
Fire Emblem Awakening, which has a lot of children in it. Chrono Trigger, which is probably still maybe the best time traveling in an RPG. Time Compression from Final Fantasy VIII, and Shadowheart's Covenant, which is definitely bullshit. But
I love the audible disgust in your voice when you said children.
The child mechanic in Awakening is better than in Fates. I don't mind it as much. I certainly have some fun with Awakening. But the winner is the nonary games because we've had some Danganronpa love. I think it's time to give the nonary games and their absolute mind screwery a bit of an award here.
Yeah, so good. I want to avoid spoilers here, and
like that stuff will keep you up at night when you think about it.
And also, I mean, it goes into let's see, quantum theory and time travel and
Schrodinger's
tesseracts and
cat, yeah. All of it.
and alternate timelines. It goes into all of it. Like Chrono Trigger, I think is a better game than Virtue's Last Reward or Zero Time Dilemma. But the category is best time travel bullshit, and the Nonary games is just the best bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Easily.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of these games on the podcast before.
Yeah,
So we've got the
it's-
Nonary games, Dragon Quest,
Well, I
Chrono
mean,
Trigger, Shadow Hearts.
I mean, that's true. I mean, these categories will ultimately reflect our own tastes and preferences since we made them, and we've talked about RPGs a lot on this podcast, so it makes sense that a lot of the stuff on the podcast is reflected in these categories, even though these categories are not specifically attached to the podcast. Otherwise, we would have done at least 3 Devil May Cry 5 episodes by now.
I'm surprised we haven't. Come back to the year-end episode where it's just half an hour of me and Mike talking about Devil May Cry 5.
Steph, can you read the next category for us?
Maybe. All right, so the next category is Best Siblings. So we have Ryu and Nanami from Suikoden 2. We have the Brotagonist and Nanako from Persona 4. I like that one. Edgar and Sabin from Final Fantasy 6. Veronica and Serena from Dragon Quest XI. Your kids from Dragon Quest V. Dante and Virgil from Devil May Cry 5.
Knock that one in.
And Lucas and
Couldn't
Klaus
tell
from
ya.
Mother 3. I feel like if we had a better shot at Mother 3, that would have won for us. And
Yeah,
definitely, if you do see the spoilers on that, like, it is heart-wrenching.
It's pretty
Yeah.
incredible what happens between Lucas and Claus and Mother 3, but it didn't.
Genuinely phenomenal. Yes.
Yeah. But I feel that, like, I don't know, since we don't really have a fair shot at the game, I almost feel it wouldn't be fair to talk about it in a way or award it. So ultimately, we settled on Ryu and Nanami, just especially with their story dynamic throughout the game.
Yeah, their sibling dynamic is great, and what happens to Nanami, or what happens to both of them in sort of the lead up to the final confrontation, and especially the avoiding spoilers a little bit, like the circumstances around Nanami's
ending,
around the true ending and Nanami's fate is incredible. It's huge big drama and makes you love both Ryo and Nanami and Joey.
They're
She's
also
a big spot of sunshine in the cast. Yeah.
She
Oh, yeah.
really is. They're not even blood siblings either. So you stick Joey in there
Yeah.
as well, and it's like, you've got the 3 sibling relationship that is torn apart literally by war.
Yeah.
It is a horrible scenario to be in, and Nanami is the positive one, trying to be like, he'll come back, something will definitely happen, and then, it just...
And she's the one who's always encouraging Joey, to ask him questions. I mean, she's just like pure goodness while also being really tough and actually not too bad in battle. When I first played it, I definitely resented having to use her all the time, but once you get used to
she's not bad.
She's really good.
Once you get used to taking advantage of her speed, then
she's
a lot
not
stronger.
she's not top tier, but she's good, and you can letting her act first allows you to do all kinds of weird tricks with her.
Yeah.
So the next category, Zach, please read it for us.
So this is the best Koichi Sugiyama replacement candidate for Dragon Quest because he's terrible.
Yeah, he is
also a terrible person apparently.
Yeah, not the best composer and a terrible person. So we're all desperate to replace him. We've mentioned it on multiple podcasts now, and now is the time where we have our candidates to replace him.
So there's a pretty good possibility I'm going to butcher some of these names, so please correct me if I'm wrong. So first we have Yasunori Nishiki from Octopath Traveler. Masayoshi Soken from Final Fantasy XIV, Matoe Sakuraba from Tales and Star Ocean, Lotus Juice, Persona rapper, Yasunori Mitsuda from Everything We Love, and our final candidate is literally anyone else. And big surprise, the winner is literally anyone else. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, anything's good.
I would kill for a Dragon Quest game where Lotus Juice did the score. Can you imagine?
I absolutely, it would slap so hard, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I did think, like, beside the literally anyone else, though, we were really keen on Yasunori Nishiki from Octopath. Like, in terms of fitting that same style.
I think he would fit the best because of the folksy style of Octopath Traveler. The different instrumentations would fit with the different accents and the different locations.
And the big sound, too,
I'm just saying it, too. Like, Dragon Quest XI soundtrack is awful. It looks awful against that game. It does not fit it. And
I'm really excited for the symphonic version in the Switch.
It's just like gussying up garbage. It's just like putting a shine on like literal crap.
The one I would be most excited for was probably Soken, because he's so good at adapting old Final Fantasy themes that him, like, giving him the Dragon Quest catalog to actually, like,
do something with it.
Yeah, him working on Dragon Quest music could be turning chicken shit into chicken salad, and that'd be amazing. But anyway, Koichi Sugiyama is terrible, and we would love him to be replaced by literally anyone else. Peter, can you go ahead and read this next category for us?
Yeah, so our next category is the most absurdly talented child. I'm going to butcher a lot of these names, so I apologize in advance. From the top, we have Rita Mordio from Tales of Vesperia, Kalilica from Ys Memories of Celceta, Yu Narukami / the Brotagonist from Persona 4, Alphinaud and Alice from Final Fantasy XIV, Ren from Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, Genis from Tales of Symphonia.
He's literally called Genius in Japan as well.
And Leon D.S. Guest.
Geest. I have no idea.
There's no voice acting that I remember, at least on his name.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like
Star Ocean 2. Anyway, Leon from Star Ocean 2 won.
Catboy.
Yeah, the Catboy.
I like to pronounce his name the way Terry pronounces the name of the man who killed his father, like Geese.
Yeah.
So one of the ruling factors on why Leon wins is because first off, he's 12, which is actually pretty low even amongst some of our other contenders. But also because it's his parents who actually seem to work for him while Leon is in charge.
That's an amazing flex. Amazing flex.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's so bratty though.
Yeah, he cries like not more than half hour later after you see him being all cocky. It's wonderful.
I mean, you could probably have every single character on this list other than Persona 4 protagonist be characterized as a brat as well, at least to a degree.
I like Alphinaud and Alice though.
Alphinaud is a total brat for part of the game, and then, if anything, Alice slaps him into shape a little bit.
Yeah, she does.
Alright, so that was Most Absurdly Talented Child, won by the guy from Star Ocean 2 whose parents work for him, which I'm still very tickled by. Alana, can you read the next category for us?
Sure. So this is Best Unconventional Weapon User, which is fun. So first up is Norma from Tales of Legendia. She uses bubbles, everybody. What does she do? I've never played Legendia. Does she
swear to God, she just blows bubbles at them.
Yeah,
she kind of uses like a casting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right, yeah. That's what I assumed.
One of the other girls in that game, Groon, she uses an urn.
I love Groon.
Oh, yeah. Shirley uses a feather pen. Like
the Tales series is really good for this.
Yes, it really is. It's not the only time that it shows up in this list, even.
No, exactly. So yeah, we might as well say that one. So Genis uses a kendama from Tales of Symphonia. So a little toy, basically. He's definitely a caster.
Yeah, he basically uses a toy, like a smart kid toy.
He definitely.
It's a Japanese toy that's kind of like a yo-yo.
So any of the female characters in Final Fantasy Tactics, they all use bags, which is handy. Carol uses a bag as well in Tales of Vesperia. Again, another series you can take lots of people from is Shadow Hearts. We have Ricardo from Shadow Hearts from the New World, who has a guitar with a shotgun in it and a flamethrower and other guns. Ricardo is great.
If you need weird stuff, go play. If you like that dose of weird, go play Shadow Hearts. You get.
I think some of the Shadow Hearts writers watched the El Mariachi trilogy starring Antonio Banderas and then said, "You know what? This is not
grab my guitar.
This is not anime enough."
Ricardo is really good as well. We then have Fina from Skies of Arcadia, who uses a little alien pet called Cupel. And then we have Liud from Baton Kaitos, who uses brass instruments as a gun. And so the winner has to be, because I'm reading this category out, obviously, it has to be Fina. I say so. Cupel is adorable. And anyone who's played Skies of Arcadia will agree with me that Cupel is the best thing ever.
Cupel's great. And, okay, it's been a long time since I've played Skies, Alana, but am I not mistaken? You feed Cupel items and weapons, and then Cupel grows and evolves and can transform into more things.
Yeah, so Cupel has a branching evolution path, basically. So you pick up 3 types of items called Chams, Abric Chams, and Choms. So Chams are like 1 level, basically, so he transforms after taking so many different Chams. Abric Chams will either shift him on one tree or put him up to an entire new rank. And then Choms will force him to throw everything up, and you can readjust the way he levels up. So he transforms into multiple different things: cutlasses, spears, cones, literal weights, and all sorts of things, and a giant version of himself is one of the like ultimate forms. But yeah, Cupel is multifaceted and very adorable, and he gets an eye patch at the end of the game, and I love it so much.
I love the costume change for Fina and Cupel at the end. It's super, super cute.
Yeah, Cupel is special.
And Cupel's excellent in general.
I love the VMU for the Dreamcast where you're walking around, and if you come near a Cham, it comes up on your VMU screen and he points at the ground with his tongue and it beeps. And it's really cute. It's just a beeping noise in the GameCube version. But yeah, Cupel is great and is literally the only one on this list that transforms into about 20 different weapons.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on to our next category, Biggest Drama Queen. Steph, can you read these out for us?
You got it. We have Sheria from Tales of Graces. God, I hated her. Shirley Fennes from Tales of Legendia.
Not a fan of her either.
No. Oh god, no, she's the worst. Sheria at least is a killer on the battlefield. She's like a combat medic. Anyways, Edge from Star Ocean 4. Kuja from Final Fantasy 9 and or Dissidia. Genesis from Crisis Core, or the Gact character as otherwise known. And V from Devil May Cry 5.
The Poetry Boys.
These things keep ending up here.
Surprise.
So of all of them, we decided Kuja was the biggest drama queen. On top of being good. Kuja's a really good choice for that. On top of being very concerned with his outward appearance, he is so mad at the world he decides to take it with him.
Every movement and look he does is very dramatic. Like if young David Bowie was suddenly very, very eccentric, but then at the end when he takes it to this place of extreme nihilism, and you sort of get to what makes Kuja tick. It's a great Final Fantasy villain, definitely a drama queen.
He'd be a good for a villains episode.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Not a bad idea.
That'd be a good candidate.
Yeah, Kuja's great. He's got a real good. I love how theatrical he is. I love how everything is like the stage is set kind of thing. And I think as well, he goes insane like Kefka, but he's kind of got the context for it as well. Like you get the whole story with him. You get, I won't throw it all out there now.
There's a lot to dive in with him.
Yeah, he's definitely a case study.
Yeah, there's more. He feels more human than Kefka. Kefka's motivation is just being crazy, and Kuja's motivation comes from a real place.
Well, he has actual ties to one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Kuja's extremely funny in Dissidia as well, which is why we mentioned that. He's extremely exuberant too. He floats around as well, which is fun, which he doesn't really do too much of in the game. It's an unusual choice for Dissidia.
All of his powers in Dissidia involve spheres and balls, which is kind of true to his Final Fantasy IX attacks, but still you don't think of him just being so full of balls until you play Dissidia.
I now have the Tales of Graces mystic art stuck in my head that sounds like instant balls.
Instant balls! I love that. I don't even know what he's supposed to say. I guess it's supposed to be
the mystic art's called Mystic Waltz.
But it does not sound like that at all.
All right. Zach, can you please read us the next category, Best Super Form?
So for Best Super Form, we have Ashley Winchester from Wild Arms 2 as a Night Blazer. I haven't played Wild Arms 2. What is that
Great
like?
Name. So I forgot what sets it off. He has a bad night at his recruitment thing, and all of a sudden he's bestowed superpowers from... I don't know. It does a lot of cool stuff. You can change it to where during the game to, unleash super damage. It's just a lot of fun. And
cool.
It takes a Western to even more anime territory, which is always a bag of laughs.
Oh, wow.
See, it's hard to tell what's going on in that game because it's so terribly translated. The storyline in that game is just so hard to track. So you're asking me what's the story about that? I honestly have no idea. It just looks awesome. It plays cool.
All right, so our next nominee is Dragon Quest VIII for super high tension mode. Can I say that Mori's tension animation is amazing?
Mm-hmm. You absolutely may.
The next one is Terra's Esper transformation from Final Fantasy VI.
You were really gunning for that one.
I was. Not the winner,
she does
unfortunately.
Look cool, though. I love that wild pink hair. I would totally...
Next up, we have Red Alkaiser, if I remember correctly. From Saga Frontier. Next up, we have the Devil Trigger from Devil May Cry 5.
Bang, bang, bang. Oh, my Devil Trigger.
Next, we have Shulk's Future Vision thing from Xenoblade. Next, we have
the future.
And then next we have the Dragoons from Legend of Dragoon. Next we have whatever Noctis's Super Saiyan thing is from Final Fantasy 15. It's Disarmager. Dragoning in all the Breath of Fire series.
That was me. I should have looked up what to call it. Sorry.
And then Sora's final form from Kingdom Hearts XXYY 23425, the Hard Start.
Reloaded.
And
we were brainstorming for a while, and we kind of started giving up our writing power here. I do want to give a special shout out to Legend Dragoon.
Yeah, those Dragoon transformations are really cool. Yeah, I really like the designs and the extended armor pieces and the wings.
Sailor Moon Girl, growing up, I like that kind of stuff. And
for the record, the winner is Sora's final form from Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, for real.
Sora has so many transformations in the Kingdom Hearts games, but his final form is just so awesome because, like, in 2, he's like floating. He's perpetually floating. It's how you unlock the glide ability in that game. And he has 2 Keyblades that are also floating. So like you just kind of like have this crazy amount of reach. And then in 3, it's like a nuclear bomb. Like he's still floating. The Keyblade turns into a sword. If you're playing as Monsters Inc. Sora, his fur turns white and it's cute.
That's really cool. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
I mean, the final form in terms of power is so important. Like, there's no way I could have gotten through those data fights in Kingdom Hearts 2 without it. It's vital.
Yeah, that's true. It's a great crowd control thing, and for an action RPG, I think it kind of really shines.
Yeah.
Like, believe me, we love a lot of these ones on the list, but yeah, I think, and like, there's so much variety to it too. Like I was mentioning how like Terra, Ventus, and Aqua, they each have their own kind of unique abilities that kind of, you know, hone on their character and their arcs and all that stuff. But Sora's really captures a lot. Like I like that even one of them kind of references the time he turned into a Heartless.
Yeah,
and he has like a creepy arsenal of like weird scratchy attacks.
It's so cool that Sollosi even let it be the winner of the category. So
but then I
we're running out of time.
Yeah, but
otherwise he would have fought.
Yeah, but I enacted my revenge by renaming it Kingdom Hearts XXYY numbers the Hearts Dark, which is basically how I feel about all of Kingdom Hearts' sequels. I'll get around to playing some of them eventually. Maybe we'll see.
2 is a lot of fun.
2's real good. Really
2 is the logical follow up to 1, I think, if my math is right. So that one.
It's actually not, unfortunately.
What?
It's actually not.
Of course it isn't. Of course.
You have to play Chain of Memories first.
Mike, I will buy you a copy of the Chain of Memories manga so you don't have to play it.
Sure.
You really don't.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to play it.
Watch a video. Yeah.
Okay, that's already more than enough Kingdom Hearts talk. So let's move on to the next category, Best Mecha. Steph, let's have you read it for us.
All right, so best giant machine beat 'em up thingy is we have the Gears from Xenogears, the Skells from Xenoblade X, Brute Justice from Final Fantasy XIV. Good choice. Gilgamesh from Devil May Cry 5. Somehow stuck on there
God's sake, it's not a Meg.
That's a reach.
Okay, I agree, it's a reach, and I may have added it in 10 minutes ago, but I stand by it.
The 13 Sentinels from Aegis Rim.
No,
Steve the Ride Pod from Dark Chronicles and Dark Cloud.
The game is called 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim.
Yeah, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Yeah, sorry. Steve the Ride Pod from Dark Cloud 2 and the Divine Knights from Trails of Cold Steel. So
each seen gameplay from 13 Sentinels, I'm still not convinced it's a real video game.
Yo, I actually love the actual robot fights they show in little friggin' diagrams, though.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't.
They're so pretty. I'm just sad the game isn't like that. Yeah, it's a drag. Anyways, okay, so the winner of the best mecha category had to go to Skells. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Just in terms of the level of customization, in terms of getting around and how like it really opens up the open world experience. Like, oh my god, yeah, and how quick and easy it is. It's just so fluid and beautiful.
I love running around your hangar. Like
Cross, like. Oh, I loved hanging around that whole place. Yeah, that place is great.
It is the best realization of mechs in an RPG, easily, I would say. They've had all that teasing with Xenogears where you just go around dungeons in them and then finally with Xenoblade Cross.
I
get
feel like you're
them.
getting a lot of like like Zelda series like cycle of like what game everybody loves, and a lot of people are really loving Xenoblade X again just for that open world freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Switch port
Even
when?
like a sequel, yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
I never owned a Wii U, and that is the
Yeah.
one reason I haven't played that
They
game.
could.
Again, I haven't played this, so I please correct me if I'm have a misconception here. But the maps seem enormous,
Oh
They are
yeah.
and
huge.
Five
and
gargantuan continents.
yeah,
Yeah.
and basically
Yep.
you can go from you can go on foot to switching into a mech to flying around the world in the mech very very fluidly, and it gives you just an amazing sense of scale for
Oh yeah.
how much larger the mechs are than you, and then how large the world is, even though you're flying around it in a huge mech. It's a really cool exercise in scale, I would watch, like, when the game was new, I was watching videos of it to check it out, and just navigating around the world map in these mechs looked awesome.
Yeah, I'm still a little like surprised they were able to get that much power out of the Wii U. Like, oh my god.
That's because
Yeah,
it had a
really.
patch that was like 10 gig.
And
You
it's
had
also because
downloaded a huge
they had
amount
font that was
of
so
data.
small you can't read it, so it worked out.
Yeah.
That's how they did it.
And no story.
Yo, the side quests were the story. That game had great world building there.
Yeah, it did, definitely. I'm being harsh.
It felt a little bit more like an MMO than Xenoblade 1 did, and
Yeah.
Sure.
Xenoblade 1 already had a lot of that side quest, people around town kind of flavor.
It leaned
Well,
into a very particular part of Xenoblade 1, so it was cool, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All right, but moving on, because we are time limited here, unfortunately. The next
I'm
category,
hungry.
the next category is best character extracurricular. Peter, can you read these for us?
Absolutely. So the best character, extracurricular side hustle thing. Tidus, the star player of the Xanarkand Abes in Final Fantasy X.
Wait, you
I
said
can hear
side.
James almost
You said
over.
you said side hustle, and that makes me think of Noctis moonlighting as an Uber driver or something.
You know what, though? That would actually be totally in character.
I would play that game. I would play
Next
that game.
VR spin-off game.
Oh, okay. So just in the world of Final Fantasy 15, except you're playing Crazy Taxi.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would love that.
I would play the hell out of that game.
All right, but okay, that was
Yeah.
enough of diversions. Sorry to interrupt you, Peter. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Chopin, as a composer from Eternal Sonata.
I love
It's
Eternal
Is that really an
Sonata.
extracurricular in that
Is being a
case?
composer
Well,
his side job, or
I
is
think
being an adventurer his side
I
job?
think his side hustle is being the main character in a Japanese RPG.
Pretty much, yeah. Having an anime fever dream on his deathbed is his side hustle.
I would love an anime fever dream before I die. That sounds. That
It's the
sounds
right way to
Sounds
go.
great.
Not that one.
Moving on, we have Valva Torres as the Prinny prison warden in Disgaea 4. Shistato from Star Ocean 2 as a reporter. Joaquim as a professional wrestler / masked vigilante in Shadow Heart's Covenant.
This will not shock you, but he is my favorite character in that game.
Luca as an inventor in Chrono Trigger. Shulk as a mechanic in Xenoblade. Jean from Lunar 2 as an assassin dancer.
Seems so
And-
good.
And Alicia as a baker in Valkyria Chronicles. And the winner is Joaquim from Shadow Heart's Covenant, because
Correct.
obviously.
I mean, definitely. The Grand Papillon people.
Yeah, a huge muscular vampire in a butterfly mask who wields found objects like mailboxes and coffins.
giant salmon.
And a giant ship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
a
it's-
skyscraper.
Yeah, his best weapon is literally the Nautilus submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He's just carrying a 7-foot tall submarine over his shoulder, like he's hauling bananas or something, and just smacking. I love Joaquin.
I've played
I
Shadow
love
Hearts
the item
Covenant.
description for the skyscraper too. It's like you can hear little voices inside of it when he swings it.
It's so good. I've
Here's
played
the
Shadow
dark.
Hearts Covenant 3 times, but every time someone describes it to me, I'm like, did I really play this video game?
That's a game that feels like a fever dream for sure.
That is my anime fever dream. Joachim fighting whatever the grandmaster of that wrestling ring is.
Oh, was it Darun or something?
Oh yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Daruna? Yeah.
All of the wrestlers have got names after curry and Indian dishes. It's
Yes.
pretty fantastic.
But, Joaquin is a vampire, can turn into a bat, so let's move on to some other characters who aren't totally human. Alana, let's have you read the category nominees for Best Not Totally Human Character.
Sure thing. So we have a classic Frog from Chrono Trigger, Koromaru from Persona 3, who is absolutely not a human character. Also not a human character is Rolo from Tales of Exilia 2, the biggest, chubbiest, best boy ever. We have Garrus from the Mass Effect series 1, 2, and 3, Skias from Breath of Fire 4, and Gilo.
Are any characters in Breath of Fire 4 totally human?
Or any Breath of Fire game at all?
Not.
No, exactly. I think Breath of Fire 4 and Final Fantasy IX's world are incredible for their diversity of like people and races. That's a ridiculous amount. But the winner is an unusual one. It's Gilo from Batenkite's Origins, who is a war machine mech, genderqueer, both male and female, responds to both, is usually they or them.
And literally because it has 2 voice actors doing
so
the job.
Well done as
so
well.
Cool.
It's also
fascinating.
Gilo appears to be. Now, I did not know Button Kaitos or Origins at all, but just from your description and from looking at images of Gilo, they appear to be a pink cyborg ninja.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, I'm in favor of all of it. Go for it. Yep. Rock on, Gilo.
So,
area of attack and big floppy arms to do really cool things with those attacks.
yeah, they have a very special purpose. They basically adore the main protagonist Sagi, and they want to eat the main female protagonist Milliard. They're a really good trio, actually. They're the only 3 characters you get in the game, and they all meld together so perfectly.
Oh, it's a cast of only 3, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's a really, really solid cast too.
Just like Zach's favorite game, Dragon Quest II.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Button Kaitos Origins is really hard to get hold of, but it comes highly recommended for Gilo, I would say.
All right. So this is a little bit related to our side quests and side hustle categories, but our second to last category of the evening is what you sunk the most time doing when not saving the world. So, Zach, can you read this one for us?
Of course. So first we have my answer, personally, Blitzball from Final Fantasy X, because Blitzball is good stuff. Then we have fishing from like all the games. You have Breath of Fire listed here. But you have the Trails of games. You've got Zelda. What else do we have fishing in?
Trails.
I love fishing.
Yeah. Okay.
I was Trails fishing not hours ago.
Yeah. It's actually not that bad in Trails. It really isn't.
It's pretty good in Trails,
yeah. Chocobo Hot and Cold from Final Fantasy IX. Triple Triad, which is the real draw of Final Fantasy VIII, and it's also back in Final Fantasy XIV. Gambling.
How is it in 14? Is it good?
Oh, it's very good. I depending on rule sets, I have 5 different decks made for it.
That sounds like someone who's obsessed with Magic the Gathering. Good for you.
My Magic the Gathering days are far behind me, but yeah, maybe that part of my brain lit up a little bit when I was making decks for this. Yes.
Next, we have gambling from all the games again. Dragon Quest in particular. Tales of games have a lot of gambling too, right?
They do.
Yeah.
It's a good gambling.
I'm so happy when I find it. I'm just like, all right. I crack my knuckles, settle in, and change my diaper.
Thank you for that image, Steph. Thank you.
In the Dragon Quest games, whenever I find a new casino, I look and see what the prizes are, and if one of them is at a certain level of goodness, I'm like, all right, okay, time to just strap in.
It's time to get that Gringham Whip. Yep.
Yep.
We have Pokemon breeding. And then finally, we have paying off your debts from Xillia 2, because it's literally the entire game. And the winner is gambling from Dragon Quest et al.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a problem.
We have a gambling addiction here.
It's fun being a degenerate gambler with no stakes.
Yeah.
You say no stakes? I need that whip.
Okay, true, and I mean, technically you are definitely investing time when you're gambling in a Dragon Quest game. But yeah, if I want that liquid metal armor or that Gringham Whip, I'm gonna get it, and it's nice to actually not have to throw away my salary other than the price of Dragon Quest 11.
You say there's no stakes, and I'm sad.
Yeah,
there will be stakes eventually soon.
There are stakes.
There are stakes out there. Sometimes
just waiting to be eaten.
Some of them
I'm
are still
hungry
in
now.
Some of them are still in cows, and it's dinner time for me too. Yes. So, do we have a favorite moment of video game gambling? Because it's very, very ubiquitous, not just in RPGs.
Oh, I got the royal flush, and I was just beaming. I took a picture of it and showed people. I was like, "Look, I got the royal flush."
So did I.
When I got my first,
too.
I got my first I got the trophy for gambling and for doing the slot machines in Dragon Quest XI, and the
me too.
Wait, who's the one who had Pokemon trivia about that? What was it?
The gambling in Pokemon.
Yes,
we're talking about Dragon Quest, but
they can't put the game corner in any new Pokemon games anymore because gambling is illegal in children's entertainment in Europe, I think.
Correct. Yeah, there's age limits on it.
Yeah, so they can't get the everyone rating if they include gambling. So I think was it only in Red Blue, or did they?
I think it was in Red Blue.
It's in Gold and Silver, I think, as well.
Okay, sure.
But it's removed everything else.
And then they removed it. I think starting with Heart Gold and Soul Silver was when they permanently were like, yeah, we can't put it back.
Sure.
So now all the slot machines in the remakes, like in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it's they're not interactive.
Oh wow, cool.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So okay. Even though gambling is not for children, it is definitely for RPG fans because there's a lot of fun gambling in various RPGs. None in Devil May Cry 5 though. That's one weakness of that. Otherwise flawless.
I feel like Dante would like gambling.
I think
for sure.
I feel like he would.
Oh, Dante totally has a gambling problem. That's why the lights immediately switch off at the end.
Because that's why he's got no money.
Yes, it's why he definitely doesn't own any shirts in Devil May Cry 3. So now we have one final category, and this category is maybe the most important of all because this is the category that will determine a future Retro Encounter Game Journal game. The next Retro Encounter game will be determined by a public vote. I am going to release a poll shortly after this episode comes out, and listeners can vote on a future Retro Encounter game. I don't know exactly when it would air, probably late 2019 or early 2020. So let's come up with the 5 nominees for the next Retro Encounter game. First, Disgaea 1, Hour of Darkness. Peter.
My vote is Nier Automata.
Ooh. And Zach.
Well, we did Suikoden 2 about a year ago. It's time for Suikoden 5.
Ooh,
Alana.
Second best one.
We already talked about the final boss for this game, so let's go, because we've never done this. Persona 2 Innocent Sin.
And Steph.
I'd love to play that. Star Ocean 2. I did write it like that too. I'm just excited about that game.
So that is what's going to be up in very soon on a poll for public vote. Disgaea 1, Nier Automata, Suikoden 5, Persona 2, and Star Ocean 2. One of those 5 will be a future Retro Encounter game, and it will be chosen by the fans. So now it's time for the end of the episode. I don't want this to go on too long, but thank you so much for recording up to 200 episodes with me. That's a milestone.
Amazing.
That's an amazing accomplishment, Mike. Well done. Well done.
I like this. We're able to talk a little bit about everything for episode 200 too.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground in those awards, and it was fun discussing what before the podcast what to win, and then during the podcast just whatever thoughts came to mind when the names of these games came out. Even it gave me more and more opportunities to hate on Persona 1 and Legend of Dragoon. But let's look to the future of Retro Encounter a little bit. We do have that poll coming up. I'm going to post it as soon as this episode goes up. It'll be shared by the RPGFan Facebook and Twitter. A little bit into the far future, we have a second episode on The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel that's going to be up next week. And later this month, we are going to have one episode that is about sports, but not sports in an RPG or in real life, something existing outside of RPG sports or real life sports. I don't want to spoil exactly what it is yet, but it's going to be weird, and I'm looking forward to recording that. And also, we're doing another villains episode, and the subject of that villains episode is none other than Luca Blight. And possibly some other baddies in Suikoden 2. So there's going to be a Luca Blight Suikoden 2 flavored RPG villains episode coming in a few weeks. But that's about all we have for today. I could, we thought about making this episode another mailbag or another reminiscing about your favorite retro encounters of the year or of the 5 years. But I think we had more fun just coming up with a list of BS categories in a fake awards show and then bantering about them.
Obviously, the surprise hit here was Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stealth
RPG
adding
fan
more.
smoking.
I was stealth adding more and more Devil May Cry 5 to the to the list during the episode. There was maybe more Devil May Cry 5 than originally planned. I played that game months ago and I still think about it.
Me too.
It was so good. But speaking of things that are so good, my 4 beloved panelists, what is the best way for listeners to reach you? Starting with you, Stephanie.
You can always talk to me via social media. I'm usually there bugging you guys and throwing news in your face, but you can reach me on Twitter at DiceSMS. That'd be cool. Love talking to RPG fans, fellow fanners.
All right, and Zach, how can listeners reach you?
You can email me at zachw@rpgfan.com, or you can reach me on Discord at zachw.
Alana, your turn.
So you can find me on Twitter at Alana Hagues, or anything for RPG fan stuff is Diving Falcons.
And Peter.
You can find me, Peter T, at rpgfan.com if you want to send me an email, or on the blasted hellscape that is Twitter at IHaveFury.
And as for me, Mike Sollosi, you can find me on that blasted Twitter hellscape at Evoker for Dogs or at The Real Monsoon. On RPG Fans Discord, I am Monsoon Mike, and on RPG Fans Forums, I am Monsoon. So that's all. We've done 200 episodes. Not always, similar format. The first 10 episodes do not resemble the most recent 10 episodes at all. But I definitely can say we've done 200 of them, and that's something.
It's been a journey.
That's great, yeah.
It's been a wild ride.
Pat on the back,
Glad to
everybody.
be on board now, yeah.
Yeah, and Zach, you now forgive me for putting you on the spot. You were a Retro Encounter listener before you joined the site, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been listening to it almost since the beginning.
Oh yikes!
Hear that, people? You should join us and you can actually chat with us.
I am sorry that you had to suffer through all those early episodes.
I'm a huge fan. I'm glad to be here.
And to pull back the curtain a little bit, listeners, basically when we're coming up with episodes, I ask all of the RPG fan staff, see who's free certain weeks or certain months, and we sometimes pull them together months in advance. Sometimes it literally the day of recording, we throw something together. But anyone on staff that has an idea for a podcast can throw it at me, and then I'll put it on our big list, and then maybe it can get made into an episode. And Zach discovered that firsthand, basically just throughout 2019, and you've been on a bunch of episodes in the summer, probably in part because you're a teacher and you have summers off.
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
that
so
is
nice.
the truth.
So yeah, Retro Encounter episodes can come from anyone, from any source, except it'll always be from RPG Fan, and it'll usually have me getting my grimy hands on it, twisting the idea around before it gets recorded. But to all 4 of you, thank you for being on so many episodes with me. And listeners, thank you for listening to so many episodes, or at least some of them, the episodes. Thank you, good night, and good luck.